Hi everyone, this is Eric Rosenberg from Eric.Money. I'm glad you were able to come check out the AI panel. And here's a little walkthrough on a few different ways I like to use AI. So we're going to start by creating an article outline. If you are a freelance writer like me, or write for your own blog or any other purpose, it's not great to use ChatGPT or similar tools to create your final content because it does a lot of copying and rewriting from other sites. But you can definitely use ChatGPT to come up with ideas and create an outline. So let's look at how it works. So let's say I want to create an article on 10 ways to improve your grocery budget. That's something a lot of freelancers have probably covered before, and it's something that we're probably not going to come up with too many super new ideas. It's a topic that's been very well covered. So we can use ChatGPT to come up with ideas to create our list. So we might say, I'm writing an article on 10 ways to save money and improve your budget while grocery shopping. Give me 5 title ideas and 20 different ways to save money on groceries. Now GPT is doing the work, and as you notice, I use GPT-4. That's the paid version. For me, as a writing professional, I find GPT-4 to be worthwhile. And I filled out some information about me and what I do that you can save into your profile in your GPT account. And you can see right now, here's a list of article ideas. I might pick one and then customize it to my own to sound like something I would have written rather than something written by a computer. And then here's a list of 20 different ideas. I could pick my favorite 10 for the article and do some editing. And again, I always want to write it in my own words, but this is a great way to put an outline together. So there you go. GPT created exactly what I asked it to. Now let's say I want to use um, this title. I'm going to copy it and paste it down here. I'm going to say, I like this title. Create a full outline with 10 tips from the list above. There we go. Now remember, GPT can think backwards into your conversation. So anything that you've discussed in this thread, and you can see on the left side here, I've had a lot of different chats with GPT over the months. Here is a full outline. And again, I don't want to use this exactly. I will edit it to be in my own words. But if I wanted to write about a topic that's really common, or even just get ideas for a less common topic and use it as a thought starter, I could definitely do that. So here you go. Now I have an outline, and it even suggests additional resources at the end. Now, something else I could do, which I do from time to time, I've written the article. I might tell it to update one section to improve SEO, targeting a few specific keywords. I might ask for it to create a meta description, which again, I'll wordsmith a little bit to make it sound like my own. But this gives you a pretty good idea of how I use ChatGPT to make outlines for articles. Next, I want to show you how I might use GPT to edit and improve something that I've already written. Now, for something like a blog post, I really want it to be in my own words. I actually use Grammarly to make sure I haven't missed any commas or made any capitalization mistakes. But if I'm writing an email or something else that I want to be more personal, I still might use GPT to improve what I've written. So here you can see you can choose GPT 3.5. That's a very fast version of GPT, but it's not quite as good if you ask me. GPT-4 is a little slower. You have to pay for it, and there's a limit on the number of messages you can get every 3 hours, but I think it's worthwhile. You can also use plugins, which are tools that could search travel websites or coupon sites or a whole lot more. But I actually just recently had an interview where a website asked me to write a little bit about myself and my business. So a way I might use ChatGPT, I'm going to copy and paste in the answer to one of my interview questions. And I'll say to ChatGPT, I'll go up to the top, say, this is my response to an interview question. Please make it a little shorter, more specific, and find a helpful tip to highlight. Also check for grammar to make it as easy to read as possible. And then GPT's off. It's going to read my article or my answer. There's 4 paragraphs there, and it's rewriting it based on what I said. Again, it's not going to be perfect. AI has a habit of making things up. We call it hallucinating, but it's useful and it's helpful. So it took my words, made them shorter, made them more helpful, and made them more focused and easier to read. So that's another way you can use GPT. Now we're going to do something a little more fun. So a lot of you have read about image creators. Those include one called Midjourney and Dolly. If you have a paid account with ChatGPT, that's the GPT-4 version, there's a new add-in to create images. So I like to have a little fun with this. Now we might use it to, let's say, create a header for an article about budgeting for groceries. That's fun for my website, Personal Profitability. So it's going to give me this not very useful text to explain what the image generator is going to do. Oh, here, see, it didn't even work on this one. Create an image for my website, Personal Profitability. It's not always perfect. Even the pros have to go back and make some changes. I want them to show different angles at the grocery store. Create them in the style of Claude Monet and Salvador Dali. There we go. So I had to be a little more specific and say to create the images, and it's creating the images. Now, because this is a new feature and it's being highly utilized, it's going to take a few minutes. So I'm going to hit pause on this video and pick up when it's done. All right, we are back. Here are the images in the style of Monet and Dali. So clearly these are the Dali style ones that are kind of weird looking. But this one in the style a little more of Monet is actually pretty cool looking. So that's a unique image I might use on my website when talking about budgeting for groceries. Let's do one more just for fun. Make an image of a giant robot with money raining down on it. The robot has a gold bling necklace with a dollar sign. Well, here we go. Dali has not disappointed. I really want to see this robot in real life. This one's pretty darn cool. It's raining money and has a bling dollar sign necklace. That seems perfect for FinCon, our money blogging and media crowd. So who knows, maybe that one will go on my Instagram. I actually like that. It's making me giggle. So there we go. That is how you can use ChatGPT with DALL-E 3 built in to create images for your website. Okay, and one last thing I want to work on and teach you is how I use GPT for some coding stuff. I do a little bit of web development. I've made some apps and plugins and things like that. So let's say we want to create a new little Python script that runs on a web server, wherever you want to put it, that automatically shares your new blog posts from your RSS feed to your account on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. So let's write it out right now. I'm going to do it live. I want to create a simple Python app that reads my website RSS feed and automatically posts to my account on Twitter. Outline what the app needs to work properly. So I find when I'm using the web, when I'm using, oops, I accidentally left Dolly 3 on there, but it should still work fine. I've noticed when I ask GPT to do coding for me, it works better if I ask it what I need first and then tell it to build the app. If I just have it go right away and build the app, it will usually give me some errors. It won't work great. So here's the outline of what our app needs. Thank you, our friend GPT. It even gives me tips to make sure to check the logs so it's not broken. With Twitter these days, they turn the API on and off regularly. It seems I've gotten a lot of errors. So there we go. There's an outline. Now I'm going to say create a single page Python app to handle the tasks above. And here's my code. Now you need a little bit of information and knowledge on how to run apps to do this. It's not totally going to create something for you and teach you how to code at the same time. So while this comes out, I actually do understand what it's doing. I've created apps before, but you can see it's just as good at coding, if not better, than it is at creating in English language, because it's a computer. It knows code really well. And there you go. Here's my instructions to set it up and run it. And I've actually done something kind of like this using GPT, where it helped me create a few different tools to automatically post on social media. If you have code, it can also improve your code. It can look for security problems, ways to make your code more efficient. And it works across a lot of different languages. I just picked Python here because it's easy for a lot of people in the code world to understand. So there's a fourth way I use GPT regularly.